up, y'all? This is Stokley, and y'all know I got soul.
Just to get started, I just want to first say, we're all really excited about this, the announcement of your solo album. Many of us and R&B fans have been waiting many years for something like this from you. So, it's a big moment in R&B music. What made now the time to do this album?
I think just a natural progression. The thirst kept growing for me, and just the culmination of everything that I've done. This is the perfect time. People have asked for many years, or when are you going to do something? And I see you do all these projects on the side and everything. But I think this is the perfect time, to
right.
branch out, spread my wings a little bit, while I still have the energy, and it's just it feels like great timing,
Right. So tell us what the creation of the project's been like, especially, not having the band behind you and having a chance to work with outside producers. How's the experience been?
Well, again, this is, I've always been active, before we got started and this whole time while we've been doing what we do. So that's really never ended for me. I've, done performances, lots of recordings, whether it be background vocals or my voice on a track singing lead or drums or any of that kind of stuff. So the collaborative process has been ongoing, my whole career doing music, period. But the difference is me doing something, a full project for myself. And that has been great. It's been very liberating in some ways. And it's just a different time right now for me. So it's been great being able to work with different artists and different producers, and different songwriters. And for me, I just got to a point too where it's like, okay, I know what my own voice sounds like. And sometimes I get tired. I'm tired of that, so I wanted to invite. What I did was invite other people, other energies into the room, and collaborate on things that we saw eye to eye on. I just wanted to see if who sees the world the same way that I do. And that's been, just kind of a process of meeting people, sitting down with them, and see if we're on the same frequency, and then I press go from there.
Right. So the album is called Introducing Stokley, and talk to us about sonically what we can expect on there, especially in terms of comparing it to a mint condition album.
Well, I think the easiest way I can explain it is, with the group, you have to leave room for democracy, and that's the differences, and with that, you give pieces of yourself. We each, of us gave pieces of ourselves to create this one entity, this great entity of great work. And with a solo venture, you're just able to put more of yourself in there. This is one project, there's a lot more than this, but it's all my sensibilities that I love, old and new, analog and digital mashed up together. Me seeing a view from the back as a drummer, as well as the front, being a singer, and everything in between. I've had a unique perspective of doing both this whole time. So all the things that I love, all the different genres, I'm kind of a genre bender.
Right.
Because I've played a lot of different music, a lot of different genres coming up. Everything, literally. So, I love all that stuff. So nothing is really out of my reach as far as being authentic to that style or whatever. It's organic for me.
Right.
So, and you can say that Mint is pretty much about that too. So, in a way, it is an extension of that. It's just it's deeper and broader for me, and I can dive into more of the things that I really love. And we each, in Mint, each of the members have their own things where we like the same things, and then there's some things that are different, you know what I mean, which makes us the individuals that we are. So those ways, the rest of it, I guess you just have to experience, that's the best way I can put it into words now.
You know, we heard some of that genre bending you're speaking of on the first single, Level. You know, has a fresh sound to it. Just talk about what inspired the song and the creation of it.
Well, that song was first written as a duet, actually, and the person I did the duet with was actually we had the same release date, so I had to take her off because the label didn't want her competing against herself, kind of thing. So that's basically what it was off of, and it was off of that concept of a duet, and I wanted something that represented, just talking about someone that sees the world the same way you do. And the older you get, the harder it is to find somebody that sees that, resonating the same way, thinking a lot of the same things, just to find that mate who's good to you, good for you on all levels,
Right.
In a nutshell, yeah.
Who is this artist you're referencing for the duet?
What's that?
Who's the artist that you were referencing that was a duet with?
Lettucey, actually.
Wow.
She's on the background vocal, and her version is crazy, and
wow.
One of my favorite vocalists, absolutely. And
awesome.
Had a great time, recording that with her. Just amazing,
cool.
Amazing lady she is. Yeah.
Hopefully we get to hear that version someday as well.
One day, if she gets off her label, I can release it as a limited copy or kind of thing.
Right. So, can you tell us about the support and kind of backing you've had from the rest of Mint Condition as you've gone on this solo endeavor, and how they've kind of encouraged you along the way?
Say that one more time.
Can you talk about the support and encouragement you've gotten from the rest of Mint Condition as you've gone on this solo endeavor? How have they encouraged you along the way?
I think, the support is always constant with all of us trying to develop, and that's been since day one. I mean, even talking about, I can even reference back to back in high school even, when me singing was kind of like, I was kind of scared to do it. We had a studio inside the high school, and I would make these little songs up, and, Odell, guitar player from Mint, would say, man, I've never heard anything that sounds like this in here. You should sing more. So he encouraged me to, since day one, he's always been a big, champion, and the same for me because he played a little guitar. And I was like, man, continue to do it. So we just made a band, and just kind of kept going. And all of us trying to, we've become better songwriters as we've went on in this whole industry, better songwriters, better musicians, better businessmen. So, I mean, that's with the help of, mentors like Jam and Lewis and Prince and all these things. So, we champion each other in these endeavors that we're doing. And I just happen to be the first one out, doing what I'm doing, and, the lead singers always get a lot of attention because they're a lead singer, obviously. But I would like to, I can't wait for the public to see what everybody else has to offer if they so choose to do music or whatever it is that they're working on. Because they got different things happening. I'll let them speak on it themselves when they feel like speaking on it. But there's just a lot of talent and a lot of greatness inside of Mint other than myself. I'm just, I happen to be the first one out the box, and so here you're talking to me. But there's absolutely support for all of what we do, Yeah, because we got to a point where it's like, we've been doing this so long, it's like, man, we've had 3 life. It's really in dog years, it would be just like a long time, So in the industry, this, under almost 30 years, it's just like 3 lifetimes.
Right.
In industry years.
Yeah. Now, reading your bio, there's an interesting mention in there that you've amassed several albums of material over the years, of solo material. Can you tell us a little bit more about that? Have you always recorded solo material over the years?
Well, and that's how those, and sometimes it'll end up on you know, and I'll scale back what I did just to get a different vibe. Like I said, you know, sometimes I know what I sound like, and if it's like, enough of this, you know, I can take it this far, and I just might strip everything off where it's like just some chords and a bass line and the drums or something like that. Sometimes it's all done, and other times it's as far as I can take it. But so I've had that process of like recording a lot of stuff over the years, you know, and some stuff has been with Mint, a lot of things have been without. And I've worked with different people out, you know, throughout the years too. So yeah, I mean, that's you record every day, something somehow somewhere, you know, it's gonna build up. It's like a musical bank,
right?
You know.
Has maybe it's just been wishful thinking, but I feel like we've always heard like rumors or fans, you know, longing for an album from you through the years, or maybe it's coming this year or something. But has there ever been a time throughout your years in the industry where you were close to releasing a soul album, prior to this?
Well, people have tried, every label we've been with pretty much has been that, and I get it, it's cost efficient and all that thing. It looks very attractive and it's convenient and all that. But I just think it's, a band like us has been such a necessary presence. Because I think the industry needed a balance like us, especially in our genre being, people say R&B. We call it much more than that, but that's where they place it, so to speak. But you come to see us live, we're much more than that. I think it's just been a necessary balance for the industry. And I've enjoyed everything, our whole journey. Can't imagine doing it with anybody else. Because it's just, we have our own island, so to speak. No one sounds or looks like us. And, the time we came out, we've really went against the grain on so much, in the business sense, and in a world of like nobody's, doing bands anymore like that. As far as being an artist, you have bands, you have artists who hire a band, but actually having a band, a group of people who play instruments and that actually are the artists, corporate members, as you say, that are signed. I mean, that's the difference. So I always felt like we had something to say, and it's been that way for a long time, and it's just we've been real comfortable there, and it's been a necessary balance, I should say.
Got it. And then there's just one more thing I want to touch on. We were so excited a few years back when you were tapped by Wale to help produce his project, and I think you worked on a couple of his albums now. Just seeing, a current rapper, like, one of the most popular rappers, and to recognize your legendary status and your talents, just thought that was so awesome. Talk about what that meant to you and what it was like.
Well, again, I think people, I guess, that resonate on the same frequency. That's like eventually you're gonna come together. And I think how I resonated with him is through the group. We're very popular in the D.C. area. He's a D.C. baby, a go-go baby, as they say. Loves go-go music. So he comes from real musical instruments, drums, bass, a lot of heavy percussion, horns, keyboards, guitar, all that stuff. So I think he recognizes that in us, and then, what I bring on top of it as far as the vocal ability in that, I think, it hits people in a certain way. So I think maybe when it was time for him, when he could, he reached out, and I was like, man, killing, love what he does. He's a true poet. He's and for what he does, he's he's different than a lot of rappers you hear out there. You know what I mean? Just a real sensitive cat who's, a thinker and, critical thinker and all that kind of stuff. So just the way he puts his thoughts together. Sometimes it goes over people's heads, but, I say he's got to keep pushing it like that. So they'll get it.
Awesome.
But it absolutely felt great, though. Feels great. He's actually on the, I'm returning the favor. He's on the track on this new Introducing album, too.
Oh, cool. Look forward to hearing that.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. He killed it, of course.
And then just last question for you, as R&B music has evolved and, the younger generations have kind of moved away from vocals, us as fans of the 90s R&B and extensions of that have always discussed like pure vocalists, and your name always comes up among the top vocalists, of that generation, looking back. How do you view yourself as, among your peers with your vocal abilities? Because we recognize you as, having one of the craziest voices we've heard.
Oh, thanks, man. How do I view myself?
Yeah, how would you, do you recognize, your talents in that regard?
Well, I think anybody that gets in the industry, says I'm as good as the next person or better or whatever your thing is. But, my thing is I've worked at my skill early enough in my career before I even, before I could even call it a career. You just get to a certain point where it's like, okay, I'm, want to show what it is that I got and share it with people. That's what it's about, So it's not coming from me. It's I think all of it is kind of a divine, and then from there you keep watering it and fertilizing it and growing it, and you hope that people see the world the same way that you do. And so I mean that's all I can really say about it. It's just like, man, you do what you do, and hope just pray that people like what you're doing, or somebody out there. I don't care how many folks it is, but
right,
that's the best any artist can hope for.
Absolutely. All right, fair enough.
Digging it though. I'm excited though. I'm excited for this for people to hear it and see how they feel about it. Love it and hate it. Couldn't care less either way. But as long as they feel something.
Right.
But I'm hoping that I'm hoping a few people feel good about it.
Awesome, man. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, man. It just comes out in June. We'll support music. I'll be on tour this summer, and I just hope that this fits inside of people. I'm sure it will.
All right.
Hope that it helps to inspire them, whatever they're going through, and see you in your city real soon.
Awesome, man.
I don't know if you wanted to print the dates. I've got some dates on the 12th at the Birchmere in Virginia, on the 14th, okay. Ramshead in Baltimore, and in Atlanta on the 16th at Center Stage.
Cool.
April. These are all April dates, so yeah.